Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that most of your life energy is quietly disappearing every single day, traded away for money that often vanishes just as quickly. Think about it for a moment. Every hour you spend working is a piece of your life. It is your time, your energy, your creativity, your focus. Yet many people spend decades trading this precious life energy for paychecks that disappear into bills, debt, and endless consumption. And one day they suddenly wonder where all the time went. This realization sits at the heart of a powerful idea explored in the book Your Money or Your Life by Vicki and Joe Dominguez. The book asks a question that most people rarely stop to consider. Are you actually working for money, or are you slowly trading away your life? Most of us grow up learning the same financial story. Study hard, get a stable job, earn money, buy things, and keep working until retirement. For many people, this routine becomes so normal that they never question it. Yet despite working harder than ever, millions of people feel financially stressed, trapped by debt, and constantly worried about money. The authors discovered that the problem is not simply about income. The deeper problem is our relationship with money. Many people think of money only as numbers in a bank account or digits on a paycheck. But in reality, money represents something much more important. It represents life energy. Every dollar earned comes from hours of effort, attention, and time that can never be recovered. When people begin to see money this way, something powerful happens. Spending decisions start to look very different. That expensive purchase is no longer just a price tag. It becomes a certain number of hours of life spent working. Suddenly the question becomes much deeper. Is this purchase truly worth that piece of my life? The book encourages readers to start observing their financial habits with honesty and awareness. Many people have never actually tracked how much money flows in and out of their lives. They may know their income, but they often have little understanding of where their money goes each month. By carefully tracking every expense, people begin to see patterns they never noticed before. Small purchases that seemed harmless start to reveal how quickly they accumulate. Daily habits slowly shape financial outcomes over years. This awareness is not about guilt or punishment. Instead, it is about clarity. When people clearly see how their money flows, they gain the power to make intentional decisions rather than automatic ones. Another powerful concept in the philosophy of this book is understanding the real hourly wage. Most people believe their hourly wage is simply the salary divided by the hours they work. But the reality is more complex. Working often involves many hidden costs. Transportation, work clothes, lunches, stress relief spending, and even the time spent commuting all reduce the true value of that paycheck. When these factors are considered, many people discover their real hourly wage is much lower than they originally believed. This insight encourages people to rethink whether certain expenses or lifestyle choices are truly worth the amount of life energy they require. As awareness grows, people begin to ask deeper questions. Does this purchase bring lasting fulfillment, or is it just temporary satisfaction? Does this expense support the life I truly want, or is it simply a habit created by advertising and social pressure? Gradually, people start distinguishing between spending that genuinely improves their lives and spending that simply fills emotional gaps or boredom. One of the most liberating ideas in the book is the concept of enough. Modern culture often encourages endless consumption. There is always a newer phone, a bigger house, a more luxurious car, or a more expensive lifestyle waiting to be pursued. But chasing endless upgrades can create a cycle where income increases yet satisfaction never arrives. Understanding the idea of enough changes everything. When people clearly define what is truly sufficient for a meaningful and comfortable life, they gain freedom from constant comparison and pressure. Instead of chasing more and more possessions, they begin focusing on experiences, relationships, creativity, and personal growth. Another key idea is transforming money into a tool for independence. Many people feel trapped in jobs they dislike simply because they depend completely on their paycheck. Without savings or investments, leaving that job feels impossible. But when someone begins saving consistently and reducing unnecessary spending, they slowly build a financial cushion. This cushion creates options. It allows people to make decisions based on values rather than fear. Financial independence does not necessarily mean becoming extremely wealthy. It means having enough income from savings or investments to cover living expenses. At that point, work becomes a choice rather than a necessity. The authors explain that this transformation happens gradually. Each dollar saved becomes a tiny worker quietly contributing to future freedom. When invested wisely, those dollars begin generating income of their own. Over time, these streams of income grow stronger and more reliable. As savings increase and expenses become intentional, something unexpected often happens. Many people realize they no longer need as much money as they once believed. Their lifestyle becomes simpler, yet their satisfaction often increases. This shift also changes how people think about work. Instead of working purely for survival or consumption, they begin choosing work that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Some pursue creative projects. Others volunteer, start businesses, or dedicate time to passions they never had space for before. The book also emphasizes that the journey toward financial independence is not about deprivation. It is about alignment. When spending aligns with values and priorities, money becomes a tool for building the life you actually want. One person may value travel and adventure, choosing to spend less on possessions in order to explore the world. Another may value quiet living and creative pursuits, choosing simplicity in order to gain time and mental freedom. The key is intentionality. Instead of allowing society, advertising, or peer pressure to dictate financial decisions, people consciously design their lives according to their own priorities. Another important lesson involves recognizing the power of community and shared wisdom. Throughout history, people have supported each other in learning financial skills and building independence. Conversations about money, once considered uncomfortable or private, can become powerful sources of learning and encouragement. When people share strategies, challenges, and progress, they strengthen their commitment to long-term financial well-being. Perhaps the most transformative part of this philosophy is how it changes the emotional relationship with money. For many people, money is a constant source of stress, anxiety, or guilt. Bills arrive faster than income grows. Unexpected expenses create fear. Financial uncertainty affects relationships and mental health. But when people begin tracking expenses, aligning spending with values, saving intentionally, and building financial independence, the emotional weight around money begins to fade. Money gradually shifts from being a source of stress into a source of stability and choice. The authors emphasize that this transformation does not happen overnight. It is the result of consistent awareness, thoughtful decisions, and patience over time. Each small step builds momentum. Tracking spending leads to clarity. Clarity leads to intentional choices. Intentional choices lead to savings. Savings lead to investment. Investment leads to independence. Over time, the relationship between work, money, and life begins to rebalance. Instead of asking how to earn more money to support endless spending, people begin asking a different question. What kind of life do I truly want, and how can money support that vision? This question shifts the entire focus of financial planning. Life becomes less about accumulating possessions and more about reclaiming time, freedom, and purpose. And perhaps the most powerful realization is this: money itself is not the ultimate goal. The real goal is the life that money can support. A life filled with meaningful work, strong relationships, creativity, curiosity, and freedom over how time is spent. When people begin treating money as stored life energy rather than simply currency, every financial decision becomes an opportunity to design a life that reflects their deepest values. And once someone understands that every dollar represents a piece of their life, they begin to spend, save, and invest with a clarity that slowly transforms not only their finances, but the entire direction of their future.